Hey, welcome, y'all! That's right. This is the Pregame Engineer Tailgate Mayor Racing Podcast, episode number 66 for Saturday, October, whatever it is, October 8th, 2016. I'm Tailgate Mayor Rusty Wallace, joined in the PETM podcast studio, as always, by Pregame Engineer Andrew Sherwin. What's up, dude?
So we're on a weird day because we'd normally be in the campground doing this. We're at a weird time because this makes the most sense for us while we're watching college football. So Thank every one of y'all for joining us. We're about to do this thing. This week was weird.
This week was very weird. Like you said, I'm a little bit salty for the first time ever to be in the PETM podcast studio because we've got $500 and something worth of
72 of them.
Yeah, $572 worth of tickets. That's just going to burn a hole in our pockets, and
that's living in some little nice air conditioned trailer in the Tim Flock Turn 1 campground.
Yeah, that would be
scanners and headsets in it. And
what we should be doing, having guests like Jeffrey Whitler just come over and say hey to us while we're doing the podcast.
Just blow up our show for us.
Yeah, so that's what we were looking forward to, y'all. We were going to be at Charlotte this weekend. They ended up canceling everything for Hurricane Matthew. If you've been in the path of that, our thoughts are out with you, and we
sure.
wish you the best.
Thoughts and prayers to everybody that's been dealing with this storm, whether you're in the Caribbean or you're right down there on the Georgia coast, Tybee Island, where some of my family really likes to go. So.
Yeah. So we're definitely thinking about you, and certainly they've canceled all the race activities for Friday and Saturday, and I believe we had pit passes for Xfinity, like hot passes. We had
we were going to be in the pits for the race for Xfinity.
Yeah, we had great tickets for the race, which brings me to maybe Rusty is going to get up on a pedestal here for a second.
Climb all the way up.
Climb up. But how much money have we spent on races that we didn't watch this year?
Well,
if you think about it,
so we had $100 each into the Bristol Cup race,
plus the $572 here that we haven't.
Yeah, so we're damn near $800 deep in races we didn't get to watch.
So something that I think NASCAR and the tracks are going to have to figure something out on, and I think you even tweeted it out. You're like, hey guys, y'all can't just rake the money and just shrug your shoulders.
Yeah, something. Give me a nugget. Give me a coupon. I mean, they're gonna know we didn't pick those tickets up because they're gonna know they never got scanned. Mm-hmm. And so I'm not saying. I mean, the last thing she said to me before I said yes, this is what I want was these are non-refundable.
Right?
Do you accept the transaction? Yes.
Well, here's the thing for me is that.
However,
here's the thing for me is these races aren't selling out no more. They don't sell out.
Not even by. I mean, there's like one track that sells a race
So
out.
What is my incentive to purchase a ticket more than about 2 days out? Even if I fully intend on going, what's my incentive to do that? Because otherwise I'm going to just trash the tickets,
Yeah. Well, I think we've sort of reached that precipice that we would probably check the weather, drive to the racetrack, and then buy.
And then buy tickets. Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. Right. There's no reason to buy in advance. And they give you very little incentive other than calling you 15 times to try to get you to renew.
Right. And I get that call. And
you're not going to be sold out. You're not even going to be sold out in the section that I want to sit in.
Right. So why would I buy non-refundable tickets today for a race in 8 weeks from now or 15 weeks or hell it could be 40 weeks
or 8 days as we did last time
or
whatever.
8 days.
Yeah,
I mean on this one you just bought them last week I think.
Yeah, no, I bought them. Yeah, I bought them while we were at bench warmers.
Yeah, that's right. You went outside. We were at the local bar here. Sherwin said, "I'm buying the tickets." I said, "By God, pull that trigger!" And we were all amped up, excited to go. So we're a little salty today in that respect. We're gonna try to be, and also we just as Sherwin's shirt and hat show. Georgia Tech fans here, and we just watched our team loss. So.
Another field goal loss to the Eat Poop Pit crowd.
So if
we got some Pittsburgh folks, and y'all were happy that y'all beat Georgia Tech today, good on you.
Yeah.
We're going to live through it. We knew we were going to do a podcast. We don't get butthurt by losing college football games because guess what?
Not anymore.
We didn't play.
And we do a lot of that.
And we're
losing
34, 35 years old, and there's no reason to get upset like those kids down in Athens do.
So PETM curse is what we're calling this.
The curse cast.
Two races.
Is this the curse cast?
You brought this up with me, by the way. The curse cast. You brought this up with me, by the way, earlier today, and you said, we have to be among the highest percentage of buying tickets to a race and not having the race go.
Yeah, I mean, considering how many we've been to, so we've been to, what, 40 race weekends probably at this point? Or close to it?
At least, yeah.
We're approaching that. And we've had 4 cup races get rained out.
Mm-hmm. So 10%?
10% of the races we decide to attend, the cup race gets rained out.
Yep.
And that's why our good friend Jim Utter said, can you guys just stay at home and watch it on TV?
Stop going to races.
Like every time you go to a race, there's something crappy that happens.
For the sake of everybody else,
it's like, daggum.
I get the sentiment. For my own sanity of I got to scratch that itch, I'm going to keep going to races.
Well, and the thing is, I mean, and of course, when I saw that tweet come in, I was like, and I don't know if you've been following us long enough to hear us rehash this, but before we started doing the podcast, we went to that weird-ass race at Talladega weekend where it was flooding. The creek was up 8 feet. Some dude drowned. They didn't find him till like Tuesday.
Yeah, and they ran that race, which was crazy.
And they ran.
And we watched it. We ran out of beer.
Yeah, they ran out of light.
They ran out of light.
We thought Casey won the nation or Xfinity race, and like they threw a caution way back there. So
yeah.
Like Joey Logano ended up winning it.
It was a weird deal. So anyway, all right, I'm done being salty.
Are you off the soapbox or the salty box?
Yeah,
the
salty box, whatever it is. What you drinking today, dude?
I am drinking. Look, I'm just as plain as I can ever be. I'm drinking Jim Beam White Label and Diet Tonic.
And if you hadn't figured out, Jim Beam Black Label for me with Coca-Cola, and that's pretty much like our standards right there. Although on deck, another Twisted Tea. This one doesn't have.
And this
that
always
lemon.
a rate. Rusty always beats me through the liquor portion of the process.
Well, I've been doing some pre-show, but yes, I definitely choked that. I shouldn't say choke it down. I just chug that thing down. Anyway, we ended up at a comedy show this past week. This past week's been crazy.
So weird
for us.
So weird.
We were supposed to have we'll call it the takeover show where Matt Weaver.
Right. Y'all don't know this. You're about to find out now what you were supposed to get on Tuesday night.
On Tuesday night, you're supposed to get Matt Weaver and Jessica Tao on the show together, and they were going to do a takeover show and just start bitching at each other about stuff.
Yeah, we were going to let them host the show from afar and do whatever they wanted to do. But it just didn't work out. I mean, I found out what was that Thursday evening at like 6:30 last week. I had to go to Costa Rica, and you found out like Friday morning you had to go to D.C.
Yep.
And we both kind of just looked at each other like, maybe one day this podcast will pay us enough we don't have to deal with that crap.
Mess with it. No kidding. So yeah, that didn't happen obviously this week, but we're looking forward to rescheduling that, and that will happen. By the way, it ain't like it's a now or never
a one-time deal.
Yeah,
I don't think. I don't know. Weaver, he might be mad at me. No, actually, he might be paying too much attention to his Cubs. We have to work him.
That's
in
true.
On
That's
the day
true.
when
Might
the
have
Cubs
to be
aren't
after
playing.
the playoffs or something. He won't be paying attention. Weaver, what's up? Wait 1 second. Went to a comedy show though on Thursday. Went to old Bill Burr at the Fox Theater.
Golly, if you follow podcasts like if you not just on the Periscope where y'all are watching us, but if you're actually into that whole, Pocket Cast or Google Play or iTunes or anything, and you like comedy, especially comedy that may not be, I don't know, above board all the time, as they say, then follow Bill Burr. And then if you like him, like listen to one episode. If you don't like what you hear, you won't like his show.
Yeah.
But if you do like what you hear on his podcast, he does too. Monday he does about an hour. Thursday he does about a half an hour. And then he does some throwback stuff because he's been podcasting for like 7 years.
One of the OGs on podcasting.
Yeah, he's an OG podcaster. And then look at when he's coming to your city because he is super funny. He's shooting his special in Nashville this year. Mm-hmm. And he's said on his podcast on Thursday, he's got his get up together. He was going to wear a Nashville specific shirt. So I'm sure it's going to be some sort of a country western.
I'm looking at like a rhinestone cowboy.
It's got to be a pearl snap.
Yes, a pearl snap. I love it.
But he's funny and he does all the stuff you're not supposed to say. Like he's the Carlin of today in a lot of ways.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And the way he hits politics and social issues and that sort of thing.
We were laughing. I was laughing so hard in the first 10 minutes. I was stomping my feet and beating on my thighs laughing. Like I couldn't handle any more.
If I wasn't holding 2 beers.
Yeah, right.
I was making the redneck noise like I was at a Foxworthy show. Woo!
Well, it's episode number 66, dude, and we were off by 1 with Jordan Anderson. He
I know,
drives
isn't
the
that
number
funny?
66
We couldn't
truck.
wait to get Jordan on, so we just said, you know what? I don't want to postpone it a week.
Yeah.
He already agreed to be on 65, so let's just do 65.
So number 66, Jordan Anderson. If you haven't got your T-shirt from him, it's sponsorjordan.com that he put together and talked about on the show last week. And
Well, hopefully he does another run because he sold out that 200 set. Like
that's real cool.
4 or 5 days or something.
Oh,
we got
wow.
one.
Yeah,
Mine's in the
we
mail.
sure did. Mine's in the mail. I got the confirmation and everything. So
I
I'm
know
gonna be
Jeffrey
sporting
Withers
that.
is in the mail, although he could have picked it up in person this weekend.
Yeah, no kidding. So good for y'all that showed up to Charlotte. I'm jealous. I'm upset. Obviously, they've moved it to Sunday. We're not going to be able to make that. It just logistically is not working out. I'm going back to my salt box here. So
well, no. So the thing is, normally, and we'll figure out things far in advance, and we'll go ahead and make preparations if we think there's some outside chance we won't be able to, the weather will impact the race, that we'll be able to stay whatever day they run it, unless it gets weird. This one we did spur at the moment, and we just have, like, fourth quarter is not the time of year to be taking random days off without notice. Like, you kind of have to have scheduled vacation.
Yeah, sick day might not work out too well for me.
Calling in sick and everything, with all the social media, they can figure out where you're at if they really wanted to.
No kidding.
So we can't really do that.
So on top of Jordan Anderson in the number 66, and we had our name on the truck. That was so cool to see and all that.
I had friends that don't even like racing that thought that was cool.
Isn't that neat? So on top of that, I went and I said, well, let me just go look up and see who's been in the 66 to see if we just need to talk about anybody that has a great story. And in that process...
Well, quick shout out to Jeff Brown because he said something... Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, no, that's fine.
Yeah, I mean, like, basically, he's like, the 66 has kind of always been more about the relationship with the sponsor or the racing program and less about the driver. And so we decided to put together a roll call for you.
We've got a motley crew here.
It's almost hilarious how awesome this roll call of people who's been in the 66.
Listen to everybody who's been in the 66. And I say everybody, I cut out 60 names on here and just stuck with the ones that I recognized. But there's another 60 people who've been in the 66. So here we go. Jeff Green, Lake Speed, Phil Parsons, Darrell Waltrip, Dave Blaney, Todd Bodine, Scott Riggs, Dick Trickle. Dick
Trickle's
been in there.
God bless his soul.
I tell you what. Michael McDowell, smoking a cigarette in the car is probably my favorite thing about Dick Trickle, by the way.
Yep.
Michael McDowell, Joe Nemechek, Mike Wallace, Hermie Sadler, Kevin LePage, Brett Moffitt, Chad Little, Johnny Allen, Elmo Langley. Remember we talked about him a few weeks ago. He drove in the number 66 a few times. Michael Waltrip. Guess what? I'm halfway done.
You're halfway done.
Stick with me. Only halfway.
Well, don't pick up the pace because you've already done it pretty quick. I hope they can all hear us.
Jeremy Mayfield.
Yes.
Jeremy Mayfield.
For Haas Automation.
Yep. Bill Morgan. Randy LaJoy.
Randy.
And he's he's not the last one from the booth on this one. Jeff Burton, speaking of booth. David Pearson. One of the greatest of all time.
The greatest
drove
of all
in the
time.
66. Mike Bliss, Gene Austin, Terry Labonte, Bud Moore, Derek Cope. How about that name?
Bud Moore, though.
Bud Moore.
I mean, war hero, badass.
And how about this? Max Pappas was in the 66. Max was. Timmy Hill, Jimmy Spencer knocked somebody out, I'm sure.
I wonder if his toupee flew off.
Punched somebody in the face. Josh Wise, Donnie Allison, if we're sitting here talking about greats. Donnie Allison.
Punching people in the face.
No kidding.
Sorry, Kale, but I'm pretty sure that's what happened.
Here's a throwback for you. Harry Gant drove
Handsome
the 66. Harry. Bob Osborne.
Wow.
We've talked
crew
about
chief
him a few
for
times.
Chris Buescher right now.
How about that? Jeff Bodine. And to round out the list, Mr. Left Turn himself, Jason Leffler, another hats off. Taking the hat off 1,000 times in this show. Mr. Left Turn. So how about that crew? That is insane how many people have been in the number 66.
That's
as
a laundry
development car.
list of awesomeness that's been in the 66.
Yeah, it is. Usually when I go look this up, there's always a bunch of people, but I don't recognize most of the names, and most of them drove one race. But as a development car, I guess, I think the 66 holds a position in NASCAR that we haven't seen up to this point. We've been doing this since, the mid or the early 40s?
Which one did we miss? We missed, I think we started at 44 because we're like, man, we should have started this at number 1.
Yeah, right.
Whoops.
So we'll hit it when we get the hundreds, of course. Let's see here. Kenny Smith. In the
24K car.
The 24K PETM podcast car up there in Lee County, Iowa. So he did a little bit of owner stuff this week,
did some owner
which is
work.
kind of fun. Last night he had a car that started in 11th and finished in 7th, picked up 4 spots. Top 10 machine in Oskaloosa, Iowa. No issues with the car, so he's ready to run again.
Iowa. Wow, that's
next
a lot
weekend.
that sounds like it should be in Florida
or Wisconsin.
Oh, there's that too.
No issues with the car. He's ready to roll back next weekend at Lee County for a 2-day show. Weekend before that, he was in Memphis, Missouri for a 2-day show. First night started 11th, finished 9th. Of course, he had to get up in the top 10. Second night started 12th, finished 8th. Even a better deal there. A lot of side-by-side racing in that race, and can't be more proud of Kenny, what he's doing, and the fact that we've been able to hook up with him there.
Yeah, a lot of Central American racers been getting to see that sticker on old Kenny's door there.
Yes, sir. Speaking of our travel, by the way, that we had.
Goodness gracious.
Me and you had separate, very funny thing that happened to both of us.
I wish we could play it.
I've got the video of mine.
Oh, okay.
Somewhere. I think I put it on Twitter or Facebook. Let me see if I can pull it up. But you tell them what happened, and I'll pull this thing up.
So I got sent out to Costa Rica. Rusty got sent out to
Costa Rica.
Like
not like Costa Rica, Pennsylvania.
No, like the country, like way down there, almost to South America, San Jose, Costa Rica. And I'm sitting in a sports bar because, duh. And all of a sudden, they're playing like best of the '80s. Like that's what they're piping through the sound.
Yep.
But like one of every like fifth TV is playing the music video.
Uh-huh.
And I look up and I see Rick Astley.
You got Rickrolled.
Never gonna give you up.
Right.
Never gonna let you down. So, I got Rickrolled in a sports bar in Costa Rica.
2 days later, I go to the bar in Silver Spring, Maryland. And here is a clip, because I had to take a little video of it, because it was unbelievable that it happened to you and then to me. But a one-man bandstand there. He had his acoustic guitar, and he was just singing all kinds of, mostly 90s music. But then he busted out with this one. So there it is. Oh, it's playing again, but so yep, I got Rickrolled.
We got Rickrolled. Well, we're in the same continent, but we were pretty far away from each other.
Different countries getting Rickrolled. That's got to be the first time, at least in NASCAR podcast history.
That's a Guinness Book of World Records kind of deal
Guinness,
right there.
Call the people and get us in that book. So that's what a week. What a week. What can I say?
Yeah.
What can I say other than let's tear it down?
Oh, we turning it back down?
We're doing it. There it is. Let's start with Xfinity. Why not? Suarez
won again.
Suarez wins again.
It's like the redemption win, right? You win number 2, and like you're official.
Right. Well, that was the thing with Truex earlier this year when we were like, well, is he going to be a contender? Of course, we'll get to him in a little bit.
Yeah.
But when he wins a second one, you're like, okay, he's for real this year then.
Feels pretty official.
Yeah. So we'll get to that in a minute. But here's something crazy. Eric Jones in the 10th spot right now out of 12.
Oh, yeah, he's hanging on by a thread.
By the smallest amount. Had some problems again.
He's got to, do really well.
He's got to do something.
He's got to finish, second, right? Or third.
I don't know what it is, but he's
if nobody has any issues, he's got to finish, third.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Or something like that.
He's left himself
We
in a
didn't
spot.
do the math. Oh, look,
should be fun to watch. We should have been watching from our pits.
We would have been watching from the pits. We probably would have met some really cool people.
Mm-hmm.
Certainly probably would have run into Carlton there. That seems to be where he hangs out.
Yep.
But
Yep.
it would just been a very different experience for us being in the pits, seeing a race from inside there. I mean, we watched so many races. It's like now we need to start changing the experience because
Yep.
we've seen so many from the stands. All right, let's change the experience. So we tried to, and then we got, I guess, I don't know, one of the two of us owes the racing Commerce police, like some kind of debt. They called it in.
I don't know. I must have killed somebody.
I mean, the VIG on this one was big.
Strong,
And,
yeah. Yeah.
I didn't even realize I took out a debt.
Right. I mean, they're
I
charging
didn't take a loan out.
40, 50 points on us here.
I mean, like a day.
So, on to trucks. Tyler Reddick wins, and the big thing with that was Hemrick in second.
Yeah.
And Hemrick's in the chase. Tyler Reddick is not. And the big question is, do you let your guy go by? And you said some pretty cool stuff in the pre-show about it.
Well, so my first thought is we don't do that in NASCAR.
Right.
We don't do the team rules thing. But my second thought was, if you're Brad Keselowski, knowing his background, the way he grew up, how much effort, and he's gotten his team to where it's very competitive every week, competes with KBM pretty well.
Yep.
If you pulled over and let your teammate pass, I'm pretty sure not only would Brad K never ask you to do that, he'd probably fire you if you did.
You wouldn't be allowed to race anymore.
I don't think you'd have a contract with Brad
K.
anymore. Because that's just not the way it works. You earn your position.
Right. You might help teammates to get to a certain point.
Don't crash him.
Right.
Push him when a restart.
Yep. And get out front, and then after that, it's on you.
But if you're leaving turn 4 at Talladega, and you're Tyler Reddick, and you have a chance to pass Daniel Hemrick, and him not winning means he doesn't transfer, that doesn't matter. You winning if that's what you can do.
Right. So I think me and you agree in that there is no fine line here. There's no gray area. There's nothing. It is straight up. If you're going to win, if you got the stuff to win it. And if it takes even if it takes 8 tires, think about that. What if he
We've
comes
seen
up,
that before.
doors him, and wins it? And we talked about it on either the last podcast or 2 podcasts ago, and we said, look, you only cost the guy 1 spot. I'm still okay with it.
Yeah, I think I used the word harvest.
Yep.
Not to revisit it too much, but it's only 1 spot.
Yep, harvest.
If you couldn't keep me from taking 1 spot, you didn't deserve to have it.
Yeah.
Like if I took it from you and you finished second, that's on you. That's not on me.
Right. So, yeah, whether there was actually any controversy there, I don't see any. It's black and white and plain as day.
It's only controversy for the people who think team roles are cool. Or for people that need a story for the chase that didn't have one.
True. So, on to Cup. We talked about it. Truex. Is he a contender for the chase? What do you think, Sherwin?
I don't think we have to ask if he is a contender anymore. And I know that you did that on purpose. That's why you're laughing. But I think we have to ask now is, how is Truex not going to win?
Right. That's the thing.
Based on the track platform that we have going forward, how is he not going to win?
Right.
He's going to win tomorrow. I mean, we're not to the pick section yet. We'll get to that. But, I mean, if you just base it on what we've seen already.
Yeah.
Like, how do you beat Martin Truex Jr. at Charlotte?
Yeah, especially after the spring race.
Day race, because he's really fast during the day.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously it was a night race before where he led, 97% of the miles?
He led more miles than
anybody who's ever led in a single race. Yeah.
Right.
Like by a boatload.
So, what can you say? Wins again when he doesn't even have to. That's the other thing. Pressure's off. No problems. Just, bring the thing across the start-finish line. Maybe win in good shape. So
don't
just
tear
in
the
case,
car up in case we want to use the chassis.
Yeah, just in case we like this chassis, we'll use it. No, I'll just go ahead and win the race. How about that?
Just win it.
Yeah, why not?
Just win.
So, very impressive. And like you said, it's not about whether he's a contender at this point. Obviously, I mean, that's been out of the question for several weeks now.
Deal at this point.
But more about what can you do to stop him from winning the chase? And that's really hard. We talked about it, last week or 2, whatever it is, we talked about it, that look at the tracks, and you just said it, look at the tracks that are coming up. We got Charlotte. We know he's going to do good there. Something's got to happen for him. Not
the only reason why he didn't win Kansas in the 56 car about 3 years ago is because he Truexed. and he appears to be done Truexing.
Right. And what's in the next round? We've got 1.5 tracks in the next round. Texas.
We have Texas, and then in the final round, the one race round, we've
Homestead.
got 1.5 miles.
Yeah.
Like, okay, how are you going to beat Truex? How are y'all going to beat Truex? What do you, I mean?
So I think what you have to do is you have to get to Homestead with him. That's what you have to do at this point. Is if you're going to beat him, you got to get to Homestead first. So you can't be thinking about beating Martin Truex Jr. right now. You got to think about what does it take for my team to get to that last race. If you're one of the chasers right now.
Yeah, and if you're Brad or Kevin Harvick or Jimmy Johnson, like those are the three that come to mind that are probably the top competitors right now.
So Jimmy's really strong. Obviously,
you have Kyle and you have Denny, but they've shown some degree of
variation,
whatever.
Yeah.
And let's just say we're only talking those teams or whatever. Like, yeah, you absolutely had, like, how do I get? Can I go win Charlotte, or is Truex just going to win? Okay, so that's your first thought as a crew chief. It's like, can we really beat that guy, or do we need to just have a good day?
Well, and that's the thing you don't, and that's what I'm saying. Yeah, you don't have to beat the guy in the next 2 rounds. You don't have to beat that. You just got to make it to that last round. Then you got to start thinking about what to beat.
Then we go to
Hendrick's
Talladega.
Really good at Charlotte, so Hendrick needs to step up at Charlotte. Got 2 cars in the chase. Go to Talladega, coin flip. Although Denny Hamlin is really good at these plate races, and so
he is very good. But guess who lost by half a squirrel to Denny Hamlin in the Daytona 500? It was Martin Truex Jr.
You can't get this guy off your back, man.
Oh, yeah.
What do you do? Yeah. So, but yeah, you gotta have a great. You gotta survive Dega. Yeah, and then what's the third race in this series?
Kansas.
So Kansas, you got to put together a good race. Again, that's another one where it feels like the way he's running right now, Truex is going to win Charlotte or Kansas.
If he doesn't win both.
If he don't win both, like he just did.
And he'll be competitive at Talladega unless he gets boogered up in one of those crazy crashes.
Right. So, yeah, I think that's the key to beating Truex is first you got to get to the point where you're head-to-head with him. And nobody's head-to-head with him right now. They're just head-to-head against, I hate to sound cliche and esoteric about it, but you're almost up against yourself right now, especially in this round.
Race the racetrack.
Yep, race the racetrack right now. Get to Homestead, and then in 6 weeks from now, let's you and me talk about what it takes to beat
Get to
Truex.
Homestead? Oh.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Get to Homestead, and then
then
we'll
it
talk
takes to
about
beat
it.
Truex there. Yeah,
Yep.
no, that's a good point. I mean, we're going to follow along all along the way, and we're going to talk about who we think is going to be out and who's going to be in, and probably not going to dwell on that too much because you're going to hear everybody else's podcast do that, and we don't like to be everybody else's podcast.
But we should talk about who was eliminated. Smoke. We called it on the podcast. Unfortunate, but that was one of our
we did.
quote unquote. We'll call them either anti-picks or whatever we want to call it. But I think we both agreed on that. Busher was kind of the obvious pick for the entire universe.
Busher was kind of a no-brainer.
Great story and all that. But last one, Jamie Mack. Jamie Mack blows up or whatever he does.
Yep.
At Dover, and so we missed that one. We I believe said Austin Dillon. And
we said the 3 would be out,
yep,
and
3 moves on.
Who did we say would be in though? Who was the other one that?
It would have been Jamie that would have been in.
Oh yeah.
So
that's right because there was a couple
Jamie
of good tracks for
Yep.
him that didn't end up going very well. Didn't end up going very well.
So brings us to we've got a fan question this week. Which,
yeah, we do.
On our very short notice here, we appreciate everybody sending in fan questions and stuff. And if you've got questions on the Periscope, be sure to ask us, and we'll bring it up. Fan question comes from Pat Cleary at PatWolf13. He's asked us several times. A friend of ours. He says, "Would y'all watch NASCAR if the cars were autonomous?" Now that we've got
hell no.
Now that we've got all those Uber cars and stuff running autonomy.
Get the hell out of my face with that crap.
Yeah. I mean, I'm here to watch drivers.
Yeah, I mean, go down to the what is the slot car thing at the at the redneck place down in the corner next to the Winn-Dixie and run your slot car. No, hell no, I wouldn't watch if there wasn't a human in that car.
Right. I think what was the show Futurama or something had like football in 1,000 years from now, and it was nothing but like 2 eggheads controlling robots on the field. that we're all tackling each other. Like I could just play Madden if I wanted to do that.
I mean, so the answer to this question is false.
So, but thank you for the question. But
If it was true, false, false.
But that's a big no. Are we ready to gas it up already? Is it time to gas it up?
I think we have to.
All right. Well, let's gas it up. Let's see where we're going. Look out. Ooh, sounds good.
Good.
Sounds good. Although we heard none of that so far this weekend. Just still
Oh
inching
my
on
goodness.
it. Salty Rusty's back. I'm doing it again.
I don't blame you. You I guess feel like I'm doing a better job of keeping myself under wraps than you.
Calmer than you are.
I'm
Calmer than you are.
I'm definitely not a happy camper about that, but trying to get through it.
No, it's just more. See, here's the thing. Sherwin bought the tickets, so I still haven't written him a $280 check for nothing yet.
Right.
Which I'm fixing to do. I ain't leaving him hanging here, but I'm fixing to just write him a check for being a nice guy. Like that's it. So I hadn't spent the money yet. I think you've spent the money and have already succumbed to it and accepted it. You know, I'm still in the denial phase, and I think you're in acceptance. You know.
I think I had to. Yeah, no, it was tough. I was pretty salty all week, actually. The saltiness happened for me on Tuesday and Wednesday, when I was still traveling for work.
Yeah,
and it kind of sort of the release valve got kicked and it started to air out.
Yeah.
You know, it wasn't like when you overheat your stock car and when the release valve kicks, you're in trouble. For me, when the release valve kicks, everything starts to get better.
Mm-hmm. So we've got, we keep saying it, we got Charlotte coming up, and I've already said both of these things. We know Truex is strong there. We saw what he did in the spring, and we know Hendrick is strong here. So
the 24 and the 48 are going to be stout.
Mm-hmm.
Alex Bowman's having a great run in the 88.
Yep.
And Casey is very quietly starting. It looks like his team is starting to figure stuff out.
Oh, if this were a 80 race season, Casey is finally hitting that
the glide path,
the groove, right. So in race 70, he might make the chase.
It's like one of those video games where if you hit the thing at the right time, it shoots you forward.
Yeah,
Mario Kart.
Or when you hit one of those golf drives, that starts out low, and you're like, oh crap, and then it starts rising. You go, oh wait, that's the one.
Yeah, that's a hockey shot.
Yeah,
there's
a hockey shot right there. So, strong on Hendrick, strong on Truex. Any thoughts on what you're expecting to see here?
Day race is going to flip the script, which is awesome. Which means they're probably going to be able to run all three and a half grooves. I would say there's two, maybe 1.5 middle grooves. There's a bottom groove and a top groove. The people that are the racers, I should say, that I think like that the best are your Kyle Larsons of the world.
Yeah.
Your Chase Elliott's of the world.
Yep, both safely into this round. Well, maybe not Kyle Larson, but to a degree.
Other high groove drivers are ones we've already mentioned. Casey Kane likes to run high at Charlotte, especially in turn 1 and 2.
Just like Atlanta.
And, even, Jamie Murray's not in the chase anymore, but he's one of the other ones that likes to go high.
So it could be a spoil sport.
Yeah.
For sure.
And he's been really good at Charlotte.
Yeah.
So.
Looking forward to a good race, which,
yeah.
We didn't talk about it in the tearing it down section there, but the race last week just didn't do it for me as much.
I think Jeff Gluck's poll proved it didn't do it much for anybody.
What was the outcome of that? I missed
it was like 29% good.
Oh, my goodness.
It was the second worst race of the year.
Yeah.
Which is weird because the first Dover was like 79%.
Well, it was a great race.
It was a great race. So what was different?
I don't know.
Temperature? Did the temperature matter that much for the concrete? Did the consequences of the chase matter that much? If they did, we have to probably rethink what we're doing with the sport, because if they race harder in the spring than they do in the fall, because
that's counterintuitive or whatever.
It's dumb,
or it lets the guys.
But it's what I just said earlier about Charlotte. It's like, okay, so if you race in the racetrack, do you set your car up the best way you think you can race the racetrack, based on temperature, whether or not the sun's going to be out, and don't care what anybody else is doing, and
Good
play
question.
it safe? Or do you say, I have to beat Martin Truex, so I'm going to get aggressive with front end camber, or I'm going to get aggressive with Packer or
I think
shocks.
we talked about it though. You got to do you right now, and not think about.
Well, and I think doing you means
next
winning,
guy.
though. That's the thing.
Well,
It's like
that's true.
If you're, I mean, you're either committed or you're not. If you think you're showing up at the racetrack and you're supposed to win, but you think you can't, that's a weakness.
True. Yeah. I don't think you should be going out of bounds on your game plan though, in order to do that. Which I don't know. These guys aren't. Speaking of who's going to win, let's just go ahead and bring it up with this guy. Our guy. That's our picks guy.
Is it our pick? That's our
That's our picks guy.
That's our picks guy.
I picked Kyle Larson last week, and I believe he blew up every which way you can blow up. So, you're fixing to do that. Well, you did kind of away from the mic. I'll go ahead and
Do it right up in there.
Well,
Nice.
I didn't make a whole lot of noise, but popping open this Twisted Tea. So that means probably my guy was way less than yours, so you get to go first.
Did I pick Chase Elliott?
Did you?
I think I did.
Did you last week?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Good pick.
He finished third.
Very nice. Kyle Larson did not. Who'd you pick this week?
Jimmy's Johnson.
Wow. So that was my backup pick in case you picked my pick. The first time I picked him this year, I believe, as a primary, and you're going to like it. I'm picking Chase Elliott.
Awesome.
So, both going Hendrick here.
I couldn't do it 2 weeks in a row, so I'm glad you did.
Oh, I'm glad that you picked Jimmy,
I
actually.
want to pick him.
I was excited when you just said Jimmy.
If Jimmy's going to have a run to the championship, it feels like he should, like to be that, I don't know, that Joe Montana or John Elway or Tom Brady kind of guy.
I
Like,
just got some
feels
goosebumps
like
thinking about all those guys.
He probably needs to win this race.
He needs to step up. Oh,
and he's really good when the race is supposed to be run at night, but gets run in the day.
Good
because
point.
Chad Knaus is really good.
Good point. Yeah, they make adjustments really well to that whole ordeal. And Chase Elliott, it's the same reasons you're picking Jimmy. We're talking about Hendrick cars. They're throwing everything at this, and Chase just continues to be the how did he not win this race again and again and again. So
I think as we sort of flip flop, you get to go dark horse first, and then I'll go dark horse.
I get to go dark horse. Golly, so it's hard to pick a. This is hard.
It is, isn't it?
It's real hard. I didn't even think about a dark horse on this one. No. I was going to say Austin Dillon just to throw some, but I really don't think that's there. I don't think that team has it. Let me, golly, no, I don't want to do that either. I'm having trouble thinking. Tell me yours, and let me think about it for a minute. Because you obviously you have somebody in mind.
I do.
Okay.
Austin Dillon.
Dang it.
His hometown. He's good on fast tracks.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I was going to pick Austin.
It's hard for me because
I didn't have a backup, though. I was going to have to think.
Well, yeah, so here's the thing, because I have the Who Doesn't Make It segment coming up, because we did it after, before the first round. I think doing it before the second round.
Can I give you one? Do you want me to give you one?
Give me what?
An option.
For who's not going to make it.
No, not that. For who's a good dark horse.
Okay, go for it.
I think Eric Almirola is a good dark horse.
That's a very good idea. That is now my dark horse.
Good.
Good thing I thought of that.
Well,
wouldn't be the first time. Yeah. Austin Dillon. I mean, so he's number one on my who doesn't make it to the next round picks right now.
Well, I mean,
so
we had him like number 2 on our last one.
So it's hard for me to say, yeah, dark horse, because I would have picked him otherwise, but I've already written him down here as a doesn't make it to the next round guy. So I couldn't be two-faced about it.
I might have to pull up NASCAR.com right here real quick and pull up the chase grid. Whoa, I
pull
got
up
a DM late.
Okay, just see what NASCAR chase grid. We're just doing this just so unprofessional right now to see who's in and out. See who.
Oh yeah,
who
sorry.
We're about.
We told you this was going to happen, y'all. So I apologize.
Yeah.
Hopefully, too many of y'all won't drop off. I'm going to get on there and check out the chase grid.
Truex, Harvick, Kyle Busch, Kenseth, Joey, Chase, Brad, Kurt, Denny, Carl, Jimmy, Austin. So here's what I will do for you. I'm going to tell you my 3 that I don't think are making the next round. And this is where you're starting to
but it's 4 is the thing. It's only 8 that make it.
It's 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 8. So 4 leave after this one? I thought it was just 3, 3, 3.
No, that's the number of races. Number of drivers is 4, 4, 4.
No, there was only 3 that didn't make this round, right?
No, there was 4. We started with 16.
Okay. Jesus, Rusty.
Stay with me, Jimbo.
I'm losing it. Who else didn't make it then? So Busher, McMurray,
Larson.
Oh,
Stewart.
Larson. Yeah. I forgot.
Ganassi got wiped out.
I don't know why my numbers are all
Larson smashed the wall with a melted bead.
Yes, he did. Okay. All right, Rusty. Head in the game. All right, here's my picks for who doesn't make it to the next round. You ready?
Okay. You're going to give yours?
I'll give mine.
Okay.
And then if you want to do any veto power so that we can go into next round or go into the next round with an agreement here. First is Austin Dillon. Unfortunate that you just picked him as your dark horse.
No, that's fine.
So my next one. So we're starting to cut into the meat, right? And we were at the fat.
Right, we've trimmed all the fat.
Then we're going to
get that you wouldn't even want to eat.
Right
now we're having to trim the fat.
Yeah, the good fat,
like the fat on your ribeye, the fat that little nice little
like you made kind of an accidental cut
on your strip steak. Even that nice little thin layer on your fillet that you want to leave on there, especially if you're going to do long cook it first.
Mm-hmm. So I got to pick 4 here. Austin Dillon, Carl Edwards is my next one.
Okay, so we're step in step. We haven't disagreed
so
yet.
far so good. All right, this one starts to hurt. We're getting into a little bit of the meat.
Okay,
Kurt Busch.
We have not disagreed yet. We're 3
I don't
for 3.
I don't think.
I think the 4th one is the one we might disagree on. That's fine.
And this is where it almost becomes a coin flip. But boy, there's some folks that I want to. All right, here. This is hard. Matt Kenseth, and I hate that. I hate saying that, but Matt Kenseth.
That's who I said at first. But I wanted to make sure I had one to disagree with you on. I'm going same team. I think Kyle Busch is going to crap the bed the next 3 races.
I was looking at both of those names and going, I don't.
One of those 2 guys is out.
Yeah,
for sure. One of the 18 or the 20 is out.
Ooh, I like that. I like that bold call there.
Yeah,
I like that. Kenseth, to me,
which means we just put 3 Joe Gibbs cars.
Ouch!
Potentially taking 2 of the out spots.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think it's a very big stretch for Carl Edwards. We had the survival round last time. This time
Carl hadn't won since Richmond.
Yeah. This time is it's almost okay. You gotta. Well, we already said it. You got to race a track, and you got to get up front. And I don't think these tracks are as friendly to the folks we just talked about. Carl Edwards.
They've all won there, but they're not like
Kurt Busch hadn't been. I don't know, super impressive to me lately.
Kurt's been super quiet, which means I think he's going to prove us wrong, which is fine.
Well, yeah, that's fine by me. Fine by me.
One of those Penske cars may have some trouble. If we don't get into one of those, long and weird situations where Brad's team can really make a cool call.
Yep.
And Joey just hadn't been he's quietly been fast, but not like loudly fast. Loudly fast is better than quietly fast, by the way. Loudly fast means you got a chance to win. Quietly fast means at the end of the race you go, how in the hell did that guy end up in the top
Right,
5?
right. So, yeah. I mean, we're starting to cut in the meat. We're getting close to the bone on some of this. Next round's going to be tough. Kyle Busch, Matt Kenseth. See, here's the thing for me was you almost have to tip the hat to the previous championship winner because he has survived this round. Obviously, last year Matt Kenseth did too, but
I'm throwing it out as last year was the wild card, and then now we're seeing the normal Kyle Busch that but he hadn't really had like super bad races thus far. He just, he hadn't been the Kyle Busch that we saw over the summer stretch.
So let's look at the other guys. Truex, we've already talked about. There's he's going to win one of these races.
Something's going to have to go really bad.
Harvick has just been. The SHR is throwing everything in that car, and he's been really good. I don't think there's any reason to think otherwise.
He's just as fast as a 78.
Logano, we didn't talk about. I mean, possibly.
Yeah, but he's top 6 and top 7 everywhere he goes. And
Yep.
that's what I say about he's quietly fast. He's not leading a lot of laps, but he's not going away. He's not in danger of going a lap down like some of these other cats are, and then they somehow get their lap back.
Yep. Chase Elliott, I've just picked to win this race, so obviously I'm not thinking he's going anywhere. Brad Keselowski is I won't call him soft, and I won't call him loud.
He's got more wins than anybody else.
Somewhere in the middle, where he's like,
well, I guess he's tied with Harvick, right? Or whatever.
yeah.
Or
So
Truex now.
he hadn't been screaming in this chase yet, but he's. I don't see any reason to cut him out. Denny, we didn't talk about Denny. I mean, I think he's kind of quietly in this chase, just running laps, running top tens.
Well,
safe.
but you know what? Denny's the kind of guy that can get.
And he won the race coming in.
Get his head out of the game because Truex is supposed to have the exact same equipment as him, but Truex is whooping his ass every week.
Well, there's that.
That affects Denny.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure it affects a lot of them, but it seems to affect Denny more than others. It's like I'm supposed to have the same stuff as him, and he's kicking my butt.
Yep. And then
I don't get it.
And then Jimmy's last one, and we've already talked about you. I mean, you
Jimmy's
picked him.
Jimmy. Jimmy's won 77 races in the Sprint Cup Series.
Don't
so,
not pick Jimmy.
He's not going to slump for very long.
Right.
If he slumps the rest of this year, 2017, he's probably going to win like 27 races.
Yeah. So moving on to some other sports. Atlanta United at Georgia Tech was announced. So as Georgia Tech fans, I believe Roger on the
we've got some
Periscope
soccer fans
told
on
us
the
about that,
Twitter
or didn't
Periscope.
tell us, but reminded us that that was announced this week. So that's kind of cool to see. So we're both excited for Atlanta United coming up, and extra excited that they're going to be playing in Bobby Dodd Stadium in Atlanta, Georgia.
Yeah, just a little bit more sentimental value, even though it's, damn near walkable distance from Bobby Dodd to where the new Arthur Dome will be. But the fact that it's not going to be open in time for Atlanta United to have a normal home and away schedule, and Bobby Dodd and Georgia Tech have sort of picked up the slack there is pretty cool. So
that brings us with our Strange with Stang. And Miss Ashley Stang, if you're new to the podcast, Ashley Stang from Stang Racing, she is an K&N series owner, and she always sends us a fun, silly topic every week.
Yeah, sort of a situation typically. To
yeah,
deal with.
Exactly. So for the last 2 weeks, she's actually been in some treatment for some health stuff she's going through. Our thoughts are with her as well.
Always.
And so she interacted with us, said, I'm doing okay, just kind of doing my thing. So good on her. We always wish her the best and wish her race team the best, but hopefully her health is improving and all that. So we didn't get a Stranger Stang, but of course I don't want to make it so we don't have a fun question to answer. And I saw this question in one of those would you rather sillinesses, and I saw it, and it reminded me.
That's right.
Reminded me of a story. So the question
you saw
is
a good one.
The question is, would you rather? And these are two very different things.
So would you rather's used to get pretty
they got
tough.
a little raunchy and a little
in
tough.
College, they got a little rough.
So would you rather? We'll say send an embarrassing email, and we'll say like pretty embarrassing
Hell,
email
I've done that
to your entire company. Like,
no, I
like
haven't
as
done
a
that.
reply to all, and you tell somebody,
talking
hey,
to your girlfriend?
I got a doctor's appointment next week. I need the day off. I'm seeing the butt doctor or something,
Right.
And to your entire
got
company.
a proctology exam coming up.
Or eat an entire stick of butter. Which one would you rather do?
Golly.
So here's my story. Back in college, and y'all, come on now. Y'all gonna make fun of me. I was 19, 20 years old, whatever it was. And we decided to do some challenges one night.
No.
And one of the challenges was a coffee grounds challenge. If you could eat a tablespoon of
I've
coffee
heard
without
about
spitting
that.
that out. And that stuff just it's
without spitting it out. It's like the cinnamon challenge.
not in the terms that like cinnamon
less
challenge.
violent.
Yeah, exactly. Cinnamon challenge makes people really upset. This one was just more. It's like eating crackers. It just sucks all the spit out of you. So it takes.
Oh yeah, like the
So
pack
we-
of Zestos challenge.
We did the coffee ground challenge, and we didn't really have a winner or loser. It was just like
Everybody lost.
Well, two of us actually finished. Everybody else spit it out and said no way. I was among the finishers. Me and Drew. Drew.
Oh yeah.
So we finished that, and we said, all right, well, we got to follow it up with the butter bar challenge. And so,
Oh no!
here's the we said you got to eat an entire stick of butter as fast as you can. Now I know Drew is the kind of guy that will just eat through it and get through it, you know. So I said I'm gonna have to beat him, and the only way to beat him is to go all in. Is just to
cram it all in
just
there.
destroy, right?
Oh, gross.
So I took a huge bite of the butter bar, and I'm ahead already, and I swallow that one. And before I can even take a breath, I say take a second bite, and I'm already 2/3 of the way through it with 2 bites, right? I'm chewing on that one,
Like 3
and all
tablespoons each bite.
all of a sudden, y'all turn it off if you got bad stomachs, but all of a sudden, all the coffee grounds and all the butter came back out.
Oh,
is
no!
what I should say. So I was in it to win it. I put it all in, and I got beat by a full house.
Got your gang reflex?
You know what it was? It was just I think it was the consistency plus whatever else you want to call it. But having done the butter bar challenge already, I would rather take the email the embarrassing story or email the embarrassing email to the whole company. And my company's like 800 people now. It used to be like 8 back when I started. But
I hate to fall in line and step, but I use butter very judiciously. There's no way I could eat a stick of butter. So I would have to fight through the embarrassment.
Right. And I guess what I'm
sending
saying,
an email that I didn't want people to see.
right. And that was 15 years ago, y'all. There's no way I could even get close to that now. So, yeah, there's my answer to that one. I saw that question. I thought it was a funny, Stranger Stang type of question, and I had a story with it. So, with that, we're ready to close it out before we get too far off the rails here.
Yep.
Let's do this. You know us. We're going to do the beer jelly bean closeout challenge. We're just going to throw these things in there.
I got a mouthful of jelly bean.
I only ate 2, so I had to throw some more in there.
Good grief. I got like 38 of them.
Y'all know where to find us, PETMpodcast.com, at PETM Podcast on the Twitter handle. We got some other things going, too. You like that?
Oh, yeah. Obviously, these folks on the Periscope know we're at PETM Podcast on Periscope. We're also on the YouTube. We have a channel, PETM Racing Podcast on the YouTube. Just search it there. Tell you what, though, you want to see something cool? Just plug in PETM Racing Podcast in the old Google search bar. You won't see nothing but us.
That's right. That's right. So I think I said it a few weeks ago. If you ain't found us, you ain't looking.
Yeah, you ain't searching real hard if you can't find us.
That's right. Well, there's like an Instagram page.
Now, we got people syndicating us. We don't even know who the hell they are. They got their own apps and crap.
Sending their stuff out. Good for them. If you're listening to us on one of them syndicated things, why not? Welcome. Welcome, y'all.
Welcome y'all, for sure.
As always, thank you for joining us on this crazy Saturday afternoon kind of deal.
Yeah, Saturday afternoon.
Mm-hmm. Why not?
We're fixing to go hit get the egg fired up, get some pork in that son of a gun.
Yes, sir. As always, you can find me at Tailgate Mayor, Rusty Wallace.
Yeah, you can find me, Sherwin, at pregame, and then capitalize that ENG.
And we're going to talk to y'all next week. Thank you for joining.
Thank you. Thumbs up.